Hello, welcome back to Math 8. This is a video over Section 3, and we're going to be exploring slope. Okay, so we're going to be able to recognize the difference between positive, negative, no, and zero slope. And we're going to determine the value of the slope of a line from a table or graph. So similar to what we were just doing, but I want to draw this little picture here to help us understand what this means, okay? And we're going to go through and show you different examples. So we have four different types of slope. So four types of slope, okay? And what you have is you have a positive slope, you have a negative slope, you have zero slope, and you have no slope or undefined, no/undefined slope, okay? And so, and that's what we have. Okay, when you see this, okay, types of slope, on the graph, this is what your line is going to do. You're going to go up to the right if you have positive slope. You're going to go down to the right if you have negative slope. You have a horizontal line at zero slope, and a vertical line has no slope. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take a look here at this. Now, this table represents the scenario of a change in water temperature over time where X is seconds and Y is degrees Fahrenheit of temperature. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do X in seconds and Y is in degrees Fahrenheit, okay? And what I know is that as X increases, let's just think about this. As X increases, okay, so, and I know that because I'm just looking at my table. And my X values, as these numbers get bigger, what are my Y values doing? And my Y values are also getting bigger. So as X increases, Y increases, okay? And when this happens, what I end up getting is I'm going to get a positive slope, okay? So that my slope is going to be positive. All right, and let's just double check. All right, so let's just take 2 points. All right, I'm going to take this point and this point. So 370 and 675. So I'm going to do 370 and 675. Is that what it was? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take those numbers from the table, turn them into points, okay? I'm going to label this one as my first point, so x1, y1, x2, y2, all right? And so, calculating my slope, all right, I'm going to take 75 minus 70, and then I'm going to take 6 over 3, okay, 6 minus 3, all right? So I'm going to get the slope of 5/3, all right? And what that means is that this is going to, the temperature, okay, so because my slope is positive, so slope is positive, all right? Here's what I can say. The temperature is increasing, okay, because my slope is positive, by 5 degrees Fahrenheit every 3 hours, okay? And that's what I can say. So all these things kind of mean the same thing. But we got to be able to take our slope and put it into context, okay? And we have to determine whether it's increasing, decreasing, or neither, all right? So the temperature is increasing because my slope is positive, all right? All right, now let's take a look at this one. Now it says in this table, X represents the months and Y represents value of the car. So months and then value of car. Now, here's what I notice. As X increases, so as X increases, okay, my Y values are getting smaller, okay? So as X increases, Y decreases, all right? And so here's what I've got. What is the slope for this scenario? So I'm just going to take 2 points, 2 10,000 and 4 9,000. So I'm going to jot those points down. So I've got 2 10,000 and I've got 4 9,000. All right, so here's my first point, x1, y1, x2, y2. So let's calculate our slope. All right, and let's see what we get. So m is equal to, 9,000 minus 10,000 over 4 minus 2. So my slope m is going to give me negative 1,000 over 2. All right, and so what I end up getting here is that's going to give me negative 500, okay? And remember that this is the value of the car per month. Dang, you're losing $1,000 or $500 a month by having a car? It's pretty ridiculous, actually. Okay, but that's the idea. So your slope is negative 500. In context, what that means is it means that the value of the car decreases by $500 a month. Okay, so we've got to be able to put these slopes and put them into context of what's happening. Whoop. All right, and so that's what we got. All right. And so what I have here is a graphical representation, okay? It says the value of the car. So you've got these different points. You've got 2, 10,000, 4, 9,000, 6, 8,000, okay? Now it says what is the slope? What is the slope? Okay, the graph represents a negative slope of negative 500. So watch, all right? If I go from one point to the next, I fall and rise down negative, what is that? Negative 1,000? Okay, and then I run 2 months. Okay, so we can calculate it this way too. All right, but my slope m is equal to negative 1,000 divided by 2. All right, and so my slope then becomes negative 500. Okay, and I also know it's negative because it's going in this direction. Okay, so that's how we can tell. All right, and that's what we call a decreasing function. Okay, next page. All right, so what I want to do is talk about types of slope where we have a zero slope or if we have undefined slope. So when I'm looking at this table, okay, this table as x increases, y doesn't change. All right, so let's write that down. So as x increases, okay, my y values don't change. Okay, and so let's go ahead and just look at this graph. Okay, as x increases, y doesn't go up or down. It just goes straight across. Now remember, we have that little picture that we drew where we have a positive slope, a negative slope, a zero slope, or an undefined slope. So because this is a horizontal line, okay, we're going to get a zero slope. All right, but let's actually take some of these numbers and use our slope formula to figure that out. So I'm going to do the points 1, 55. I'm going to do the points 3, 55. All right, so as a result, let me do this. I'm going to do x1, y1, x2, y2. And so my slope, I'm going to do 55 minus 55 over 3 minus 1. And so my slope is going to equal 55 minus 55 is 0. 3 minus 1 is 2. Now if I take 0 divided by 2, my slope is 0. Okay? Now in this scenario, x represents the speed, x represents hours, y represents speed, okay? And what we know from this is that the speed is not changing, okay? The y value is in miles per hour, x is in time. So at every hour, they are traveling at the same speed of 55 miles an hour. So the speed does not change, okay? All right, the car is always traveling, at 55 miles per hour, okay? And that's what we can do. All right, let's take a look at the last one. In the table, x represents time in seconds and y represents the distance. in feet a ball is to the ground. So what we want to do is find the slope, okay, between these 2 points. Now, what I want you to see is that my x doesn't change, okay? That's the big piece here. All right, my x values are the same. All right, so let's take these, let's put them into points, okay, and let's see what happens. I've got the point 2, comma 8, and I've got the point 2, comma 13. Call this x1, y1, x2, y2. So my slope, in this case, m, is equal to 13 minus 8 divided by 2 minus 2. Now look what happens. We're going to get 5 divided by 0. Now the issue is that you can't divide by 0. Okay? So because you can't divide by 0, then the slope is undefined. Okay? And that's how I can tell that we have an undefined slope. All right? And if we look here, we have a vertical line. Okay? And remember from that picture that we drew that a vertical line has an undefined slope. All right? So that's what I've got for this. So hopefully it makes some sense. And hopefully we can turn these rates of change in slopes into a written sentence. Okay? Pretty cool. All right. See you later. Bye.